This is IGN. This surprisingly cozy drug dealing simulator left me with a pleasant buzz. This is your IGN Early Access review of Schedule 1 by Travis Northrop. Whether you're quitting your office job to grow a farm in Stardew Valley or setting aside your warrior days to work at a tea shop in Wanderstop, sometimes you just want to take a break and embrace a simpler way of living. I didn't expect to find this same sense of cozy escapism in a game about manufacturing and selling drugs in a grimy city, but with Schedule 1, that's exactly what I got. Instead of the GTA-like chaotic romp through the criminal underworld I anticipated, I found myself peacefully packaging homegrown ganja into tiny baggies, building bonds with my local community by handing out free samples, and experimenting with new and novel narcotic recipes while my expanding drug empire flourished. I overwhelmingly enjoyed my surprisingly zen time as a friendly neighborhood poison pusher regardless, and can't wait to see how it continues to evolve. This goofy first-person management sim asks you to turn your burgeoning small business of peddling drugs into a massive enterprise that employs dozens of hardworking chemists, botanists, and dealers. After finding yourself down on your luck in an unfamiliar city, you do the only thing your scoundrel of a main character's ever been good at: slinging that OG kush, of course. What starts out as a solo operation where you're growing Mary Jane in a crummy hotel room can eventually become a fully automated manufacturing and distribution process that moves large volumes of high-quality narcotics. As you spread the tendrils of your illicit venture throughout the city, you'll meet and build relationships with the extremely impressionable locals, learning their pharmaceutical preferences and supplying their fix, which unlocks new dealers to help push your product and suppliers who can hook you up with new raw materials. And that process of building stacks of cash and finding ways to improve, expand, and optimize your business operations is as satisfying as any of the best management sims I've played. Running around town expanding your network by introducing yourself and your product to the locals, then converting them into repeat customers who text you for their next hit is habit forming in more ways than one. And since you can improve your chances of converting a stranger into an ongoing customer by understanding the high they're looking for and cooking up something to match that preference, you're encouraged to try out daring mixtures back home to see what new flavors you can concoct. Even repetitive tasks like harvesting reefer and packaging it into little jars for distribution are oddly enjoyable. Watering crops, mixing ingredients, and breaking a freshly baked tray of crystal all feel really satisfying and lulled me into a contented meditative state that almost made me forget I was committing numerous felonies. Eventually, though, you'll develop a means to automate a lot of this and effectively never have to touch the production pipeline with your own two hands ever again, except to sell those goods, and even that you can mostly offload to your subordinate dealers. This is where Schedule 1 dips its toes into automation found in the likes of Satisfactory, a pivot that replaces the quiet meditation of bagging hemp with becoming an efficiency-obsessed floor manager that appealed to my love of logistics. What's unexpectedly absent from this felonious undertaking is any kind of pushback from law enforcement, who act as a flimsy guardrail to keep you from doing your dealings out in the open more than anything else. The main issue with Schedule 1 is a familiar one for many early access games. It has bugs, performance issues, and some of the other usual jankiness you'd expect, though none of it is particularly egregious. In fact, I'd say this is actually fairly above average compared to the many work-in-progress games I've reviewed. Schedule 1 is a crime sim that mashes its dark subject matter and dirty jokes with surprisingly cozy management mechanics in a way that works really well, resulting in an extremely unique and highly amusing crafting game I happily sunk 40 hours into. Befriending my neighbors while getting them hooked on addictive substances grown in an apartment above a Chinese restaurant is a goofy, satisfying hook, and leveling up my enterprise scratched an automation itch I don't get to scratch often enough. This early access launch inevitably runs out of reasons to keep you playing since it's quite clearly missing the back half of its campaign for now, and it has some bugs that give it a decidedly unpolished feel, but I still had a blast being an absolutely terrible human in the comfiest way possible. Schedule 1's IGN score? 8 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and visit IGN for the latest updates on Schedule 1.
SpokenLayer.